My 2025 crypto tier list. In today's episode, we're going to be breaking down the best possible cryptos on the market to the worst cryptos to hold in your portfolio. Now, I'm going to be analyzing cryptos in two ways. One is going to be, of course, whether or not it is high risk or low risk. And then, of course, number two, the utility and application of these actual projects, meaning meme coins will never be in the same category as Bitcoin because I'm analyzing it based off of low risk and utility. So let's go ahead and dive straight into this. I'm going to give you guys a perfect prime example to start off with. Luna, right? Luna, a complete scandal, $40 billion crash. Of course, went to zero, but was a huge hyped up token. This is going to be in the F category. It deserves to be in that FTX place. I'm even going to put FTX when we get there in this category. But next up here, Aerodrome, a fan favorite of course, our community out there. A project that is, comparable to Uniswap on Ethereum, but is, of course, a part of the base ecosystem. I'm not going to be putting this necessarily at an S tier category, but this is a product that has a ton of total value locked up and showing true application and utility to grow the base ecosystem. I'm going to be putting this at a very comfortable B for base ecosystem category right here. In fact, I do believe Aerodrome could become A tier this cycle and compete with the likes of Uniswap. Of course, number two, guys, or number three, I should say here, XRP. XRP has been at the spearhead of all of the financial kind of exclusion from the Biden-Harris administration and been fighting for retail investors over the last few years. XRP is a dominative project. Whether people like it or not, of course, have mixed opinions on it or not. It is a very controversial token. But guess what, guys? I'm going to be putting XRP in that A tier. Now, I'm going to say something that's crazy. XRP could become that S tier category if it does get that ETF application moving into 2025. If XRP gets an ETF and the SEC throws out all of its lawsuits against it, it will become S tier in my opinion. As of right now, though, one of the oldest cryptos in the space, Brad Garlinghouse, David Schwartz, been huge innovators in the crypto sector for like the last 30 years at this point, and I do believe it deserves to be in that A category. Next up, we have Polygon Matic, another favorite of the channel here, but a project that hasn't caught up with recent times, right? A project that in 2021 honestly could have been compared to an S tier category. It was a 100x play. It changed layer twos forever. It changed how transactions were taking place in the crypto market. But then it quickly fell to an A category in the bear market as the price started plummeting and a lot of the partnerships didn't come to fruition. And then recently, it dropped down to a B tier last summer when all these projects started seeing performance after Bitcoin bottomed out at 15K and ultimately went up to new all-time highs, but has since fallen all the way down to that C tier category, in my opinion. Now, this is a product that I love. Polygon Matic was one of my first 100Xs on TikTok way back in the day at this point, but it has since become a very biased hold. A project that had some of the best partnerships in the space between Disney, DraftKings, Starbucks, you name it. They were partnering with it. None of those partnerships actually accrued into any value. And now with their new poll, their poll token, everything that they switched over and transferred over, its price performance has lacked, to say the least. So right now, I would say Polygon Matic sits in that C category. It does have the opportunity to come back to a B or A tier if they can turn around that application and start getting true value added back into its ecosystem. But right now, I'm seeing a lot of liquidity providers leave. And at that point, I have to put it into that C category. Akash Network, one we haven't talked about too much on the channel, but responsible for pretty much all of the, not all of it, but a lot of it, the development on Cosmos's Atom SDK. So Cosmos, or Akash Networks here, going to be a cloud computing service provider. Many of you may have heard of this in the DePIN boom. Some of you would put it at that C tier category. I'm actually going to be moving Akash into the same realm, though, as Aerodrome at B tier, because we're going to talk about later in this video, but Akash Network and one other project, which actually I'll throw up right now as well, that many of you are familiar with, is going to be Injective Protocol. Injective Protocol and Akash Network, in my opinion, have really been the reasons why Cosmos's SDK has had so much adoption. They're some of the biggest players within that ecosystem. And of course, there's a few other players out there, but when we find Cosmos Atom right here, I found it, I'm going to put Cosmos in that C category as it hasn't been able to compete with the likes of Sui or Solana and other L1s and interoperable blockchains. So I'm putting Atom at that C category, Akash Network and Injective for dominating and helping evaluate that entire ecosystem. I'm bullish on all of it in general, but I'm going to put those in the B category for, of course, being the reason why Atom has a name for itself right now. Next up, we have Ethereum, very obvious S tier category. Just is the reason why we're at the smart contracts and the development we are today. You can't compare it against Bitcoin. They have two separate functionalities, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, kind of the poster child of crypto, guys. Ondo Finance. Now, this one's going to be biased here, and you guys might think I put it in S tier. You might think I put it in A tier. Some of you may think it should be a B or C. But Ondo, guys, look, I called it at 36 cents. I'm putting it in the alpha tier category, and that's simply because they're the reason why BlackRock and BUIDL have been so successful in the tokenized treasury markets. They have led and spearheaded that entire innovative solution. They're launching their global markets here and bringing BlackRock, Fidelity, DTCC, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and all these financial institutions together. I'm putting it at that A tier category. Now, believe it or not, okay, actually, we won't get to that project yet. We have ApeCoin next. ApeCoin is, of course, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, a project that once everybody used to think was that S tier category. You had influencers, Justin Bieber, Steve Aoki, everyone buying all of these NFTs for millions of dollars before it quickly dropped into an A category with the launch of their token, followed by a B category with the price rewards, followed by a C category with the death of NFTs. And now, guys, ApeCoin, I'm not putting it in an E or an F, but I am putting it in the D category. This is no longer even mid at that level. The reason why I'm putting it as D is there is a chance ApeCoin comes back, hits that 10, hits that 20x, gets a massive partnership, gets that integration. But right now they're dealing with a huge backlash of course, the NFT market and the downfall of Bored Apes themselves. Now, there's still a tremendous amount of value within that ecosystem. I often say never bet against the other side metaverse. But am I holding ApeCoin specifically? I'm going to be putting it in terms of a risk factor well below Polygon, Matic, and Cosmos in that D category there for you. Jupiter is going to be another favorite DEX of mine, very similar to an Aerodrome or Uniswap. Jupiter is a very easy B category, providing DEX and liquidity to, of course, Solana's ecosystem was one of our biggest plays here this cycle. You have AMP here. Let's just do AMP. AMP is going to be a project I haven't really associated myself with in a very long time. They are a collateral-based project, which you could do a lot of collateralization on XRP and a lot of these tokens. So for that reason, I've always had AMP in that E category. People don't necessarily agree with me. I wouldn't say this is a Hex or Luna Terra category, but is it a token I'm going to be personally playing with that risk factor to or having it allocated to my portfolio? I'd probably be an ApeCoin before I ever get into AMP coin there for you. Stacks here. Stacks is one of our best Bitcoin BRC20 plays. Now, Runes flopped, okay? Runes flopped. LFG, in fact, is on this list. We'll put that in the F category. Runes was very hyped up. We had a lot of expectations, a lot of belief in the devs that said they could build and produce all of this, innovation, I guess you'd say, within Bitcoin's ecosystem. And 50% of the products pretty much flopped. Alex actually got hacked at one point, but ended up going really, really well. And then Stacks dominating for our portfolios here, calling it originally at like 40 cents, went up to $3 just last month. I'm going to be putting Stacks at that C category. It's not quite at the same level, in my opinion, as an Aerodrome or a Jupiter with these established ecosystems. Stacks has a lot of ways to go, but they are spearheading that solution on Bitcoin layer 2. So in fact, man, it's going to be hard. Stacks is going to be a BC category for me. You guys can depend on where you want to put that yourself. That all depends. But they are leading the layer 2 space on Bitcoin itself here. You have Bonk, Solana's favorite meme coin. Bonk, I'm going to be putting right next to ApeCoin for obvious reasons. It's a meme coin. You never know what's going to happen with it, whether it's going to go up or down. It's based off literally community hype and partnerships. And of course, Dogecoin followed closely by that. Doge, I'm putting at the C category. That's my Polygon Matic category. That's my Atom category. And Doge, even though it's, I don't think ever going to go anywhere, Doge is always going to be around. It is a meme coin. It moves based off what Elon Musk might tweet about or what some major partnership might, accrue over the coming next 2 years. Whether if Nike partners with, who knows, right? So Dogecoin, I see going back to all-time highs this cycle. But at that point, I'm just putting at that mid tier. It's a medium risk token, a part of that portfolio. but I would not be surprised if Doge got its own ETF and showed some more establishment. And again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, guys, I'm just not going to be putting meme coins with like XRP or Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ondo or Arrow because of the different utility. I'm broken here. Utility factors to the project. Next up here, Litecoin. Litecoin is the little brother to Bitcoin. In terms of utility, this is a D tier or E tier category, but it's been around forever, and it is the boomer token, which gives it that solid mid-tier category. I wouldn't be surprised if they got an ETF because of their, boomer integrations and collaborations. They were on Robinhood, they were on PayPal. They're kind of one of those, it's just like Bitcoin Cash. Even though Bitcoin Cash is trash, it still has a lot of value just because of that boomer relationship status, which is ridiculous to even think here. Algorand is going to be a very easy D tier category. Only is kind of relevant because of ISO 222 influencers from 2021. I think their applications with going on carbon credit systems and stuff just didn't make sense. I didn't like a lot of their partnerships, but it's a very average blockchain. Very, it's got, I think no gas fees. They got some innovation going on over there. But personally, I just don't know a single person that uses Algorand. Like I've never had a conversation with someone that's like, yep, I'm building and I'm wanting to utilize Algo itself. Like there's competition to Sui and all these other innovative products. Like if I'm going with that narrative, it's XRP, right? It's HBAR. HBAR is another one I've been holding for 4 years at this point. And yes, I'm biased because I do hold it. HBAR I'm not putting into an A tier category. But again, I'd be putting HBAR probably at that C, B, or B status for you guys as well. I'm definitely putting it in C because in terms of price action, HBAR is just not that, that retail, aspect to it. But I do like their governance council. So the governance council, I would say, separates them. Having, Boeing, Tata Communications, Chainlink, all of them part of that governance council gives it a little bit more of a foot. But there's my reasoning behind that for you guys. Next up here, we have products like Cardano. Cardano is a fan favorite of the channel. I'm sure DZ would put this in S tier immediately. Some people could argue for A tier. Some people could argue for B tier. Some people can argue for C tier. But I'm going to be telling you why Cardano, a product that I don't really hold, right? I've never had anything against it. I've interviewed Charles Hoskinson, love their ecosystem, love their value, love what they're doing over there. But in terms of that retail application, I'm somebody that would have used to put this probably in C tier. I would have had Cardano in C tier last cycle. But because of their relations with the United States government, RFK Jr., and all of the connections they have now with Ripple and helping progress crypto in the United States economy with Trump's administration, guys, I would say watch out for Cardano. Cardano's got a lot of opportunity ahead, especially like XRP, right? They're kind of working together now. Ripple just partnered with Chainlink as well here. But you see Charles Hoskinson communicating with Brad Garlinghouse on X. That is very bullish in my opinion. So I'm going to have to put Cardano, one of the oldest chains. Charles Hoskinson, again, another co-founder of Ethereum. One of the most established chains out there. Whether you like it or not, it is an A-tier token for sure. Decentraland Mana. Metaverse plays are an easy D-tier category here for me. OP Superstack. Absolutely love this. Very excited for Optimism and the OP Superstack itself. Optimism tokens, though, price performance been quite lackluster. However, it does have the integrations of Aerodrome and other projects that you guys might know about. Velodrome down here. Velodrome here, also going to be that B-tier status here with Aerodrome. Again, same company, same development. The Velodrome is to Optimism as Aerodrome is to Base. Very much so like that. Love the tokenomics, love the aspect there, and I'm very excited for the future of OP Superstack. We'll see what takes place with it. Chainlink here, though. Okay? Chainlink. Chainlink is a project that's a very easy B category. It's arguably an A category as well. Chainlink is everything XRP holders and HBAR holders and Oracle holders and like anybody that wanted, their token to be the financial resolution, the financial standard of the, the world's finance. That is what Chainlink is today. With CCIP and their new cross-chain integrations with all their banking giants, their partnerships with Swift, all of their tokenization products that are bringing ISO 222, and whatever international standard you can think of, all into one place on one platform with all of their partners. They're connecting to over 11,500 different institutions. Ripple, XRP, now using them from their Oracle province and these new utility factors to Chainlink itself. Chainlink, guys, the entire crypto market relies on it for its oracles. And for that reason, I think Chainlink is by far the most underrated token in the top 30 and is not only an A tier category, but in fact, Chainlink has become S tier. It has become, and it doesn't even have an ETF yet. Some people might disagree with this, and that's completely okay. Let me know in the comments. But Chainlink, Sergey Nazarov, what they have done with all of their partnerships between Securitize and BlackRock and all of that development, and having literally every single crypto in the industry rely on its data, on its oracles, as well as now use all these new systems, all these new blockchain innovations they've created through their smart contracts, or through their CCIP. I'm extremely bullish on Chainlink here, and for that reason, I have to put it into the S tier. I think that's crazy, but that'd be the third token in S tier. And guys, mind you, I think there's going to be maybe one or two only tokens added to that S tier category this cycle. Last cycle would have been just Bitcoin. Ethereum could have been argued to be in there. I think you're going to see Chainlink, maybe one or two other tokens float into S tier with the establishment of ETFs and blockchain adoption. But yeah, I'm going to have to leave it there. I think Chainlink is an S tier play there in terms of risk factor. I think it's very, very low risk. I think it's got some of the most, biggest utility in the market, and I'm looking forward to it. So guys, let me know what you want to see added to this tier list here moving forward. I'll update this here occasionally with you guys. We have plenty of more space, plenty of other tokens to break down. You can probably pause and see what's on the screen here. Last one I'll do is ICP. It's another favorite here. ICP C tier. That easy one. ICP C tier, very mid project. I think it's got great technology, marketing issues, whatnot. I'm going to be building out this tier list throughout the next month or two in these markets. So let me know what you guys want me to add to this tier list in the description below or in the comments. And let me know what you don't agree with. Do you think Chainlink should be S tier? Do you think XRP should be S tier? Do you think Jupiter should be D tier? Let me know your guys' thoughts on this tier list in the description or in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.